camera so you guys can start clapping again. I'm teasing. Thank you for that. Thank you for that warm welcome. How's everybody doing today? Good. Very good. Well, we're going to talk about some advocacy here. You all are covering public policy issues, and at some point, if you decide to take this further outside this classroom into the real world, at some point you're going to have to talk to somebody about something. So we're going to talk about a couple different ways to do that, focused on using the digital world. And slide, please. We don't have a clicker, so we're going to have a couple people here helping us do the clicks. So as Angie mentioned, Angie, Dr. Hall.
Dr. Hall, technically, I don't know. That's fine, whatever, it's
Dr.
fine.
Professor Hall.
Yeah.
As she mentioned, I own a company called the Rocket Group. We're a full-service marketing firm out of Jefferson City. We make words and pictures for clients in politics and business and government. We've been around for 13 years, and if you are tweeting or doing anything like that, you can find us at Rocket Group. And oops, that's my wallet.
Phone's over there.
No. I said here's some cards too. There's more if we run out. But good to meet you guys. Who is this dude standing in front of you today? I have been in business for 22 years, mostly sales and marketing related roles. I was the chief of staff in the Missouri State Senate for 8 years for Senator Clemens. Anybody from Springfield area? Of course not. The good people of the Ozarks down there. I have owned the Rocket Group for the last 13 years. Politically, we have worked on more than 400 election campaigns from President Bush's re-election effort, actually both election efforts, on down to very, very local things like city aldermans and stuff like that. So we've done big stuff, we've done little stuff, and a lot of things in between. We have a winning percentage of over 85%. We do take on some underdogs, so it's something we're very proud of. I've also been very active in my community in all sorts of different roles, be it charity, civic, etc. And I am a 5-time certified social media strategist, which means I get to put that bullet on the screen there. But what that actually means is I've made an investment in myself to educate myself on the ever-changing world of social media. This stuff changes every day, as you're probably aware, and you'll become more aware as you're using it for business purposes or advocacy purposes later on down the road. But this stuff is a highly competitive infant industry still. It's the modern forms of communication. You all got your tablets and your laptops open. You probably got a phone sitting in your lap watching the ball game scores or something. You're multi-screening. Anyway, I made the investment myself, my company, and my clients to continually stay in front of these ever-changing worlds of social media. So that's the reason for 5-time certified. It'll be 6 very soon. So thank you. So today we're talking about advocacy. We're going to have some questions. If you have any questions as we go through this, or something sounds like a load of crap, feel free to shout my name, raise your hand, whatever. Call me out on it. I'll be glad to answer as many questions as I can as we move through this. And we're going to have some fun as well. So if you feel free to laugh at the stupid jokes. The asterisk is there because fun is not guaranteed because I know your sense of humor. So, now, throughout my political career, my advocacy career, my sales career, I've learned that whether it's an issue, an idea, a person, a product, whatever, the longest journey to convince somebody to the greatness or the wrongness of that product or person or idea is the journey from the head to the heart. If you can convince one, you've got to convince the other. We talk about, we call this HAM, hearts and minds. That's how we refer to it generally. And if you can convince the heart, you've won the emotional appeal, but you still have to win the logical appeal. If you've won the mind, well, then you have a harder battle, because if it's a mind first person, they're going to be a much harder heart to convince, because us logical people are very hard-hearted. But, so the longest journey you're going to have is taking that idea, that person, whatever, from the head to the heart, or vice versa. The second longest journey you're going to have in your advocacy career is taking somebody's from their heart to their butt to get them up out of their chairs and actually do something in the real world to further that idea or that product or that person. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. That's a win. It's very hard though. Whether it's digital, whether it's real world, whether it's whatever, you can tell somebody, you're running for office, you go and knock on the door. Do you mind me being so close to you, by the way? Mind your space? So if I come and knock on your door, and I tell you about why you should vote for me for dog catcher, because I'm going to get all the dogs off the street and make sure they're handled properly in styrofoam bubble wrap packages, so none of the ill will becomes those dogs. That's going to be pretty awesome. But if you're not a dog person, or you're not impacted by that dog issue, you don't really care. So I haven't impacted anything on you. But if you're a dog person, you're like, oh my God, bubble wrap? That sounds awesome. Now I've hit your heart. But now your mind's probably going, who's going to pay for all this bubble wrap? What's the bubble wrap expense going to be on this issue? So you've got to get those, the heart and the mind, and then I'm going to need your help to get elected. So I'm going to ask you for a yard sign location. I'm going to ask you to come do door to door with me. I'm going to ask you to hold something at your house so I can meet your friends and tell them about my great dog saving catching ideas. And that's going to, it's going to be the harder thing because you're going to be like, oh dude, I don't have the time for that. I'll just vote for you if I remember to go vote. So that's the whole action of getting the butts in action, getting them up out of their chairs and taking some real world action. And that's the hardest part in the world of advocacy, is to do that. So what we've tried to do is combine all this experience in the advocacy world, all the experience in the political world, the business world, the sales world, etc., the digital world, and we've developed this program called AstroNetTurfRoots. And what AstroNetTurfRoots does is it takes your online advocacy audience, these passionate online people who are Facebooking or tweeting or doing whatever for you, and moving them to real world action. Getting them off the butts, out of basements, the offices, and getting them into some real world action. And we call it AstroNetTurfRoots because in politics, it's very, if you've heard the term astroturfing, you covered that chapter yet?
No.
Okay. Astroturfing is a derisive term applied from an opponent of an issue or a candidate. If candidate A shows up with a big rally with 500 people at this thing, they'll say, oh, you hired some people to come in. It's false grassroots. They call it astroturfing. So we take the derisive term of astroturf, which by the way is a Missouri-born product. Did you guys know that? Invented in Missouri, at Monsanto in St. Louis in the late 60s, early 60s, excuse me. And I'll keep using this name until they sue me. But we take the derisive term of astroturf and combine it with net roots, so we can make this long term, but it's something that kind of sticks with people, and they know the term astronet, but AstroNetTurfRoots is what the name means.